Possible.
Recording in progress. I
Yeah,
introduce
yeah.
myself.
Introduce myself.
Uh-huh. Well, I've introduced myself in the YouTube channel already, so like now it's just your turn.
Okay, so my name is DS, and I'm studying.
I guess you can mention like your own YouTube channel actually. It would be fun.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a YouTube channel called PewDiePie,
Do you?
and it's pretty. Yeah, yeah, and it's
What?
pretty good.
What is
It's
it
pretty good
about?
channel. Just do what I feel like at that time.
Oh,
So
cool. Okay, right. Okay, tell us your philosophy then.
my philosophy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Why don't you start with your philosophy?
Well, my philosophy, I just stated in like the previous video, is like Anglican Christianity, uh, evolutionary socialist, and also quantum spirituality. That's the three of it. And like positive psychology is
Yeah.
like a bit like inside like Christianity kind of, but like I'll just explain it later.
So, how do you feel about that?
I feel great, I guess. What do you mean?
That's good to know, Bosco. That's good to
Okay.
know.
So what are you?
I'm just who I am, you know. I'm just who I am.
You're
But
just who you are. Okay,
what we
understood.
really care about is who you are, Bosco.
Oh,
So,
really?
tell me, how long have you been feeling this way?
You're making it sounds like that I'm having like a sickness or something. It's like a bit condescending in a way.
I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just here to help you.
Like which part? There's three parts.
Sorry? Yeah, so the Trinity is in three parts, but what we really care about is how the Trinity makes you feel.
Wow, okay. Well, it helps me make sense of the world
So do you feel like your Christianity has helped you make sense of the world then?
immensely, yes. But like so basically like like Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox are like called credo Christianity, something like that. Like there are like quite some theological weaknesses and because I just got like inspired by a YouTube channel made by two teens like or young adults on YouTube. Like they talk about like Mormonism, Latter-day Saints. So I think I will have a dive into like Latter-day Saints theology as well.
So do you feel like the theological weaknesses has made you feel anxious?
Yes, absolutely, yes. So uh like one of the weaknesses I can say is like how the traditional theodicies deal with the problem of suffering, like especially meaningless, like seemingly gratuitous suffering. So like earthquakes, disasters, like a girl suddenly got crashed by a car, a leukemia on a little boy, like stuff like that. Because like when you look at it in
Yeah, yeah.
like a predestined like gods have complete sovereign way of thinking, like it can be really hard to like understand that our God is like my God is like completely kind and good and all powerful. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So personally, I can't endorse the Mormon Latter-day Saints Church. So, but if you feel like you have to participate in those rituals, then I can't really stop you at the.
Well, like I don't like I know not that much about Mormonism yet. So like I'm still not so sure if I actually approve them or not. I'm not even so sure like how I interpret the Bible. So like I've only like read the Gospel of Mark, a bits of Matthew, some of Luke, and the whole of John the Gospel like for myself. And like That's basically it. Like others are like thematic studies and stuff like that. So like my understanding of the Bible is actually quite like I would say like not complete yet. And so like as a Christian, I would say like I actually um am not so sure when I would interpret it like literally or like metaphorically and stuff like that. And there's like so many debates around the interpretation and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting to hear, Bosco. Um, so do you feel like this has caused some problems in your family?
No, they don't know that I'm having a dive into Mormonism. They don't know that. I haven't told them
Oh,
that.
okay. So would you say you're rebelling against your mother because of the latent trauma
What latent trauma?
of the Mormon rituals?
What? I know nothing about the Mormon rituals actually, so
Hang on one
I'm only
second, Bosco.
curious about their theology.
1 second. 1 second. I'm back. I'm back. Well, what were you saying?
I know nothing about their rituals.
What do you know about the rituals?
Well, nothing. I know some of their like weird rules, like they can't consume caffeine and like they have special underwear, as you said,
So one ritual is that every Sunday they go to the temple.
right?
It's pretty weird that they'll do it so frequently. I don't think there's any need.
Right, okay. But do you know that like the total population of like Latter-day Saints right now is actually more than Judaism?
That's the scary that's the scary thing, Bosco. That's the scary thing.
Why?
Uh, it's just concerning to know that that many people have been has been tricked by a false prophet called Jesus.
Tricked by a false prophet and Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus claims to be the Son of God when he's clearly just a normal person.
Okay, elaborate, elaborate.
So, Jesus, there's no reason that we should believe that he resurrected from the cross.
Wait, but
He's
you
clearly
do
a
know there's
liar.
like historical evidence though? Like people interpret those evidences like differently. Like Alex O'Connor, if you know who he is. Like, and he thinks that there isn't like enough historical evidence to support the historical claim that the resurrection is real. So like it does depends on how people interpret and like what they want to believe. But
Is he um like that person that like goes to different colleges in America with a microphone?
no, that's Cliff Natural, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Alex
I don't
O'Connor
know. I don't
is
know.
from
I think
Oxford, I believe.
the best evidence is like the Bible.
Yes, like the best historical evidence is like the sources supporting the Gospels, yes. But like the thing is, because like Jesus only starts to claiming, seems to making claims that he is God in John the Gospel, which is like the uh, latest, like the yeah, furthest away from the resurrection. So basically, it's like the letters of Paul, and then to the Synoptic Gospels, which is like Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and then the latest is like John. So like some people like such as Alex O'Connor, he attacks it by like uh actually it's only in John Gospel of John that Jesus starts to making claims like I and the Father are one, stuff like that. So like yes, there are a lot of like critiques and stuff. I can see your mustache.
That's very interesting.
What the hell? Just, just let me remind you, this is a podcast. And I thought you like really rigorous academic podcasts.
What were you saying, Bosco? Um, Never mind, never mind. Let me tell you something about Jesus, okay? So basically, he was born in Nazareth.
Thank you.
So, but basically, they claim that his mother was a virgin. Now, I, clearly, Mary had very strict parents that said, "Oh, no, no, no," and then Mary just had to like, "Uh-oh. Well, I'm actually a virgin. I don't know where this baby came from."
She knows in the
She's
Bible,
just like, I'm
in
actually
the
a
Bible
virgin,
plots.
guys. I'm a virgin, guys. And then Mary's like, oh, okay. Mary's like, I'm a virgin. And then basically, because Mary's a bit like, so when Jesus was growing up, to cope with his family trauma in the same way that you're coping right now, he had to learn magic tricks. He learned
Magic
magic,
tricks.
which he
So
he
many
made he
people will
did
be
magic
offended by
tricks like
this.
turning water into wine, and other stuff like that.
What about
And
walking on the water and also like uh defying the laws of like what material? Like he he made like he fed 5,000 people with five bread and two fish.
I mean, look, when you're writing about someone that's already dead, you can exaggerate things, you know.
Well, yes. Okay, go on. Keep going.
Yeah, so I think that's just what happened, Bosco. So
All right, okay.
basically,
So
Mary,
so so do you label yourself as an atheist actually?
what do you mean? No, it's just someone that claims to be the son of God,
No,
like
I'm saying you.
God's real, Bosco. God is a real thing.
So you believe there is a God.
Yeah, there is a God, and it's certainly not a person that was born in Nazareth to a virgin mother. Okay. You know why? Because God will be consistent. Okay. Why would one person be God?
So are you inviting me to give you like the traditional theological
Oh,
explanation of this?
oh, no. See, God is real because if you think about it, the entire universe, okay, was made by from nothing, and that's clearly false. That because that defies the logic. So clearly something had to do the first thing, which created the chain of events that created the universe,
Yes,
Bosco.
the first cause argument. Okay.
Let me tell you something else. Okay. Even if you didn't believe in God, you should believe in God because belief in God gives you an infinite positive upside.
What's
So
upside? What do you mean by that?
like reward.
Right. Are you talking about the
So
Pascal wager?
if you believe in God, Bosco, then you're gonna get the infinite positive reward. You have a 50% chance. You
Yeah.
don't really, but like
So are you talking
it's
about the Pascal
it's
wager?
between two choices, isn't it? And then thirdly, Bosco, if you look at like, you know, my my pastor, my pastor, he's very he says like, trust me, there's definitely God out there. Like he said, I don't know about Jesus, like that kind of feels a bit like strange that like a normal person could be God, but like my pastor said, my pastor from the local church said, definitely there's a God because when he was five, he lost a toy, but then God showed him the way to find it.
Wow. Such a
Yeah.
cool testimony, I guess. I just so there was just like a new video from like Jubilee of Alex O'Connor like debating 25 Christians. And there was like one of the Christian, like a woman, and she came out and said she saw Jesus 3 years ago in her room and had like some crazy religious experience.
I mean, look, Bosco, listen to those people. They're clearly crazy people, okay? God is like God's not gonna just become a human, okay? God is like an angry guy, He's like in the clouds. He's throwing thunder at people, making hurricanes. Look at the wildfire fires in California. God is vengeful. He hates his creation. Most of
Okay.
us are going to hell, Bosco. Okay, most of us sinners, yeah. And so,
How will you define
why
sin?
would God become a human? It makes no sense.
But do you understand how Christianity understand it, though? At least in like the
I
Protestant,
don't need to follow the doctrine, Bosco, of
okay.
12 crazy people drinking wine all the time,
Right?
uh,
Okay.
um,
I can assure
killing,
you they don't drink wine all the time. If you're talking about the
like
12 apostles.
eating bread, covering their heads, making stained glass pictures. But it's just stupid. Like making tall buildings.
Okay, fine.
Don't need to listen to their
Fine. So let
crazy
me change
opinions.
the topic and ask you a question. So what's your method? What's your methodology to approaching the question of how to live a good life?
Live a good life. You listen to what God says, obviously.
Which God?
The real God.
Which religion?
What do you mean?
Does
God
that
doesn't exist because of a religion, Bosco. Religion exists because there's a God.
uh-huh. So are you making your own religion?
No?
So
I
how
told
do you
you, God
describe your
already
God?
exists. We don't need a religion to create God.
Yeah, okay. So how do you describe your God?
I told you, he's vengeful. He hates his creation.
Right, okay. That sounds like the Gnostic tradition, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't know what that is, but
It's like an evil demiurge, like something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah.
okay, okay.
So they believe in like an
Yeah,
evil
yeah.
god, I think, and they hate the flesh, they hate material stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So how
yeah.
often have you been experiencing these hallucinations?
What? Say it again.
How often have you been seeing Jesus in your room?
I've never, s- I never had any religious experience.
Oh, okay, because a few minutes ago you were saying that you saw God in your room.
No, I'm seeing a woman in a Jubilee
Calm
video.
down, Bosco. Calm down, Bosco. It's okay. You're in a safe space. So how how often so do you see hallucinations or not, Bosco? Because that'd help immensely in your diagnosis.
No, I don't see any hallucinations.
Okay, so you attending Christian gatherings, and you're clearly part of like a radical group. So why
Anglicans are not radicals.
what's not radical?
Anglicans.
Oh, Anglicans. Well, you're clearly part of an even if you don't think it's radical, it's clearly an extremist organization. So um you know I'd really like to help you, Bosco. So what we need to do is reassess that your beliefs about this person that claims to be God. Okay. So have you ever met Mr. Christ or
What the hell?
do you,
Mm, I don't have any physical encounters with him.
okay, so is he like a bit of a ghost? Does he like
Well, I would describe it in words like when I look at my past, like retrospectively, I can see where God's grace is.
does Jesus look a bit like he has lights behind him like that?
You are so funny.
Oh,
I don't
thanks,
think
boss.
I don't think there's much point like dealing with how Jesus looks like in my mind. I don't really
Okay,
imagine how
so
he looks because it's not really the point of
the
faith.
I think you have to step back and critically reassess. So you're putting your faith in someone that you don't know what he even looks like,
Oh
but
yes.
so you're letting this person shape your whole interpretation of reality. But it's just a crazy person. It's a crazy person.
What about Plato, Aristotle,
What
Socrates?
about Plato?
They are the same. Like you don't have like any images
Yeah.
of him. Like there's like not like any uh well photos of Aristotle like Marx and like the modern philosophy things like is still heavily affected by like the Greek philosophers, which is quite like in the same situation as Christ.
Okay. So Bosco, basically,
You see that
uh,
logical
when you're
fallacy.
talking to people, you got to make sure that you're not being condescending. Okay. So
Sorry.
otherwise, people might interpret that as aggression,
No,
especially
yeah,
when you're talking
I
about
was a bit annoyed. Yeah.
extremist topics like reviving the dead and stuff like that. So tell me, when did you first encounter Christian teachings?
Well, I was raised in a Christian household and I
Okay,
I went to the same church for the whole 17 years in Hong Kong. So
so is that related to the Falun Gong?
what?
Is it related to the Falun Gong, Bosco?
What's that?
Never mind. So basically, um, I must ask, maybe you won't want to answer this, but did your mother or father ever beat you for not believing in Jesus?
Like beat me for not believing in Jesus.
Yeah, did they
No.
physically harm you in order to indoctrinate you into the
No, no,
belief?
no. I don't have any like memories of that.
So basically, for a lot of victims, they basically forget the memories.
Of course,
So
traumatic memories, right?
yeah, yeah.
But I
So
don't think I have those traumas.
hopefully we can uncover those memories
Are
in
you going
the
into
session.
the roots of like Freud, that's like religion is just like a medicine for trauma? Sounds like it. Sigmund Freud.
You know, so basically, Bosco, what we need to do is uncover your past and see how you got here in
Okay.
order to help
Psychoanalysis then.
in order to help you. Okay, Bosco. So,
Well, may I just ask you, like, what's your right way of existing then?
so you have to follow God, Bosco. You have to listen to what God says.
You were never religious.
Bosco, I've always been religious. You're
No, I don't think
hallucinating.
so.
I think you have some trouble with your short-term memory. and we need to look at that also. It might be a result uh, of that.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, it might be a result of the thing.
What thing? What?
Hmm.
Go on.
Might be a result of the thing, Bosco. Yeah.
Go on.
What's that? What's that?
You know, like there's like a Netflix show of a girl playing chess.
Yeah.
The Queen's
Is it
Gambit.
called the Queen's Gambit?
Yeah, and oh shit. And like she always do that pose. Like,
Bosco, did you just swear?
no?
You just swore.
Huh?
You just swore, bro.
No, I didn't.
You just said a swear word.
What is it?
You said the S word.
Did I?
Yeah?
Oh, maybe. Okay. Yeah, because my computer was like having problem standing. Go on.
Anyway, it's been a good discussion. I'll catch you later.
So how should I like title this video then?
Oh, don't post this video. We'll talk again.
But this recorded though. Okay, I'm gonna post this.